The pictures tell the story. This life had many shades. I'd wake up every morning, and before I'd start each day, I'd take a drag from last night's cigarette that smoldered in its tray. Down a little something, then be on my way.
What up, guys? It's David here with the Whiskey Rebellion. Am I the only one thinking that like we need like a new intro video that's like not just Jody? It's like, first of all, he's not here half the fucking time. Like, I'm like, we're sitting here looking at his ass. I'm like, he's not even here.
Not only that, but just so it doesn't get stale. Hell, I've changed my intro 3 times.
I mean, you got to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
So nothing. I mean, I love the song and the video and panning around, but like, we're all here. Like, we're regulars. Anyway.
Well, he used to do it where he would like put kind of fading in and out pictures of all the crew, but you know,
I'll talk to him.
That was the original one, wasn't it?
I think that was like the OG. I think it was his son or somebody else helped him work on the video editing. Anyway, we're getting off on the weeds on that stuff. But I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, well, our asses should be in this. We're the ones here. Anyway, how's everyone doing tonight? Welcome to Whiskey Rebellion live stream. Hope everyone's having a lovely evening. What's everybody drinking? I want to start with you, Billy. What you got in your glass, sir?
I got a little Blue Note.
Juke joint.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Juke joint.
Yeah, found this just on the whim. Good price. It's one of those. It could be a good everyday pour, but it's a nice bottle to have open along with all your other stuff, so you have some good options. You know,
definitely. Yeah.
I
have one at home, and love it.
It's the proof is not very high, so I do it neat. I mean, overall, I give it a good solid 8. Absolutely.
Nice. Definitely agree with that. Gino, what you got, sir?
Delving into some Michter's rye tonight. Still swimming with the rye. Found a new passion for rye lately. And this is quite enjoyable.
Welcome to the dark side.
That's right. Dark rye side.
Welcome to the spicy side.
Yeah.
Rob, what are you drinking, sir?
Well, when the kids were up, they brought me a little Old Fourth Distillery from Atlanta. The bottled and bond 4-year 100 proofer. It's really a really nice selection out of a small distillery in Atlanta. It's the only bourbon that they do. They do a lot of other things, but if they did a bourbon and they did it right, you know, let it sit for 4 years. It's the mash bill is distilled in Tennessee and then shipped to them, and they barrel it and age it in Atlanta.
Very cool. I'll have to look for it if I'm ever down that way, or that may make it up to stores here in Tennessee too. I haven't seen it yet, but very interesting. Chuck, Mr. Godfather, so what you drinking tonight?
Well, tonight I'm getting into some of the Hirsch.
Ooh, yeah, you were posting about that.
7.5 years, 127 proof. Nice little presentation. Nice little box.
Yeah.
Nice box.
Nice.
Give us the backstory on that, Chuck.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, I don't know much about it other than, you know, I've had the Horizon, their basic line, which is around $35. Distilled in Bardstown, Kentucky. I don't know if this is a play off the A.H. Hirsch company, which was basically a very old company that went defunct years ago, but now some of their products are rivaling George T. Stagg prices, and you know, way up there. Some bottles are $20,000-$30,000.
No thanks. But
however, this bottle here is getting consumed. I'm no interested in hanging on to it.
For sure.
I think we got
a cool
bottle. Watching down there.
We do. Yeah, David. He's chimed in. Yep, and that's definitely Pittsburghese.
Oh yeah,
for you Yinzers up there.
Yinzers in the house.
Good seeing you, David. Appreciate you joining us. So the topic, and this is really, it was kind of Chuck's brainchild, is we were talking about in the VIP, in which if you're not part of that, you need to be, and also do like, subscribe, turn on the little notification bell if you're watching this on YouTube, do all the things. My dog's gonna bark. Chuck, talk to us a little bit about some scams. I'm gonna get this dog out this door.
Yeah, sure.
She gets loud. All right, be right back.
So there's new scams coming up. Basically, we all know about them. All the bourbon groups, have scammers out there that want to take your money where you'll get very little, if nothing, for it. So the new scam is where someone creates 4 to 5 fake profiles that look legitimate. We've actually had a few scammers in our group. Just recently, we had one that started spamming everyone. Basically, they were old posts from April, May, June, and they just started spamming people saying, "Hey, I've had this great experience with House of Bourbons or Bourbon's House, and you need to purchase from X website." So they get approved by the group admins and wait for people in the group to say something about a bottle that they don't have. They will basically say, "Hey, well, I have those bottles. I don't like it. I have several bottles. Would you be interested in some?" Then they start getting private messages. They send private messages to people and say, "Look, do you want it? I have it." And usually they're below pricing of the secondary pricing. They're well below secondary pricing. And sometimes you'll see where an example where someone says, "Well, I have Weller Full Proof and I have Weller SR Green Label." Well, the Green Label, they want more for that than they do the Weller Full Proof. And you're sitting there thinking to yourself, "Oh, that's pretty odd. Weller Full Proof costs more money than Weller SR." I mean, that should be your first clue.
Significantly, yeah.
That should be your first clue. But second clue should be, don't deal with people online if you don't know exactly who they are. So normally the price is below secondary. So the deal's going to be appealing. To add credibility, they add you to their private messages with other people who vouch for them. And suggest.
And those are all scammers, by the way.
Yes.
Basically, everyone who's in on it together.
So these people get other people to vouch for them, to suggest they're legitimate, and you can deal with them with confidence. And that's one of the things that they always say: deal with confidence. And
that's why they call it a con too. But
yes. After you send them the money, you get an official looking message from a shipping company. And basically, who says they need a license to ship and ask you to pay for a refundable deposit. If you pay that deposit, they come back and ask for more money. No one's made it past that point, thankfully. Well, can't say thankfully.
That we know of, yeah.
Yeah. But they've already sent some money, but at least they didn't continue.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not, and this is obviously not restricted to just bourbon stuff, but like it seems particularly prevalent in the bourbon world. I had a scam the other day. It wasn't bourbon related, but it was an email I got that looked like it was supposed to be from the USPS saying this and that. You have a delivery, a package for delivery. There was something and ended up back at a distribution center. It's going to cost $1.99 to send it to your house. And I'm like, I don't remember ordering anything. Now, there's people who order stuff online every day that could probably get caught up with like that. But they gave me like a fake tracking number and everything. And so I went to the actual website and I looked at the tracking number and it's like, sorry, we have no idea, fish. First of all, Rick, by the way, thank you for your comment. Said some of the most annoying things I see on Facebook pages. Thanks for talking about it. And Bill said phishing. Yeah, and that's basically what it is. Was trying to get me to put my credit card in there somewhere and get schnookered. So that didn't happen, obviously, and just blocked and called it spam or whatever. But this happens all the time. And for anyone who's following the Whiskey Rebellion page, Like we get new, like such and such is trying to interact for the first time, and we always check out the profile. So scammers just know, like, we're going to check out your profile. If it looks like it's fake, and, you know, most of us have a pretty good eye for what that is. It's usually, you know, say, for example, the name is wildly not what you would expect in connection with the profile picture. And then when you scroll back through profile pictures, it may be somebody from another country that might be in Southeast Asia, just throwing that out there as an example. Like stuff like that happens all the time. And you're right. They want to jump in, or you'll see a post and someone will say, hey, DM me about, you know, XYZ, or I can get you this bottle. Or it's, and this even happened with Mark, and it's a shame that he's not here, that he was talking to us in the VIP the other day, that there was somebody going around using his profile picture. And if you ever see Mark, he's got a bunch of these pictures and selfies and stuff. He's posing with bourbon or with a cigar in his hand. He's a bourbon cigar guy. And they're using his picture as part of their fake profile to try and scam people. I mean, that would really piss me off, and I'm sure it's pissing him off. But like, it's hard to stop shit like this from happening. So you just have to be careful.
Yeah, I know when I watch all the so somebody else is beating me to them, but when I'm doing the sorry, this is a good topic. Okay. When I'm sometimes checking the admin page on our thing, and you see the new profiles, and I start going in and I look at their actual Facebook profile, and you're scrolling down, and all you're seeing are profile pic changes or just pics that they pulled off of their thing with no other entries. I'll be like, okay, yeah, you ain't getting in. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Real bourbon drinkers, tell your friends about us. Everybody else, piss off. Rick says when he worked at when Birthday Bourbon released for Old Forester, I got several unsolicited messages from people who work at Old Forester wanting to sell me a bottle. You know, and you know it's obvious bullshit, but like it might catch somebody. You could be, you know, the spouse or significant other of somebody who is into bourbon. You want to get them something, and so you're looking around for a bottle that could be hard to find because that'd be a nice gift. These, to me, would probably be the most likely targets. And then people just don't know how the internet works, which, you know, there's a lot of them too. Bill says works in cybersecurity. Never trust anyone reaching out to you. 100%. They all have an agenda. Absolutely. Yeah. I had somebody send me a friend request, and it's like, you see who else they're friends with when someone sends you a friend request, and it's like, yeah, there's a not small number of people were mutual friends with this person. I was like, a bunch of mutual friends, whatever. I'll be nice. Fine. You know, except, you know, in a day or two later, I'm getting a message, and they're asking for my Venmo, like, ID or whatever. They're like, don't freak out. I'm going to do this thing and it's going to help you. I'm like, no, I don't even know what this is, but I know it's bullshit. So we're just going to, you know, block. And I told my other friends, like, hey, you know, whoever this person is, they're fake and they're a scammer and shit. So again, that's not necessarily bourbon related. But they all kind of follow the same pattern. Anybody else aware of anything that's kind of been going out or around?
Another thing that people are, you know, you'll see as something to be aware of is when somebody messages you or anyone else, they have two first names. Like Jim Jake, Jim Joe. You know, it's just weird stuff like that. You know, it's pretty obvious.
My human American name.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious sometimes. But basically, it's don't engage in any transactions with someone you don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I was talking today earlier in the VIP chat. You know, when I ordered that smokehouse a couple weeks ago, I wasn't about to do anything with that website till you told me those people were legit.
Oh, the Smoke Wagon?
Or Smoke Wagon, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Poor Ken. He says, I have to you just outed yourself, sorry, Ken. We're on to you, Ken. Not everyone who has two first names, but like it is a thing to, you know.
Kenny's my buddy. He's my brother. And
it's all good.
You got to be so careful anymore because there is so much crap out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
but if it sounds too good to be true, it is.
9 times out of 10. Yep.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine text me. He was looking for a.
I'll vouch for Kenny. I know.
See,
Kenny.
and that's how it works. Somebody you actually know vouches for somebody else.
There you go.
But by the way, to say I have first two names and I'm real, like it's like when someone accuses you of being crazy, everything you say after it just gonna make you sound more crazy. Like that's what's happening to poor Ken right now. Only a robot would claim to be real.
He's asking me about a question on
David.
There you go, David.
One more thing that I see.
Know, right?
I'm over in Mount Lebanon, David.
Yep.
So he sent me a picture. Somebody sent him he's looking for a bottle of Weller 12 year. And they found that they said, "Oh, we got the great. This site's got a great deal at $2.89 a bottle."
Mm-hmm.
But then it's slashed out regularly $3.49. I'm going, look, the stuff is good, but that's 3-4 times what it retails for in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's 70, I think $80 a bottle for a 12 year.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put my social security number up here too.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4,
birthday,
5, 6,
driver's
8.
license number. Yeah, what else do you need?
Yeah.
Just send me the birthday bourbon.
But you know what I think what happens with some of the scams and why they are successful, I think they're preying on people who are new to the world or to the game. I guess you could say.
Oh yeah, it's all about FOMO.
Yeah, and so for us, me and David had talked about this briefly before the show started. For me, I'm not in none of the secondary groups. And if I want something, I go to somebody on this group and be like, hey, can you get me this? And what's the cost? And, with my eyes wide closed, I'll send money for whatever's needed, But as far as buying from somebody else, I wouldn't even think about it. To me, it's just one of those things, unless I know you like that. No, I'm not gonna, it's just weird to me. It screams scam, it's too good to be true. And I hate to say it, but why take advantage of somebody? I guess they feel like people have the money to do it,
Yeah, I think that's the thing is basically, well, I mean, this isn't really like the virtuous thief thing. Like, oh, they can afford it, they can spare it. Like they would the kind of people that do this would fuck over anybody. Like, don't think it just, yes, bourbon, this is first world problems to begin with, but like, there's not like, I don't think there's any different moral aspect to it than ripping off anybody else. This is just a different target market. And you have to understand that people who do this, like, they're not necessarily investing a lot of time and effort. They're going for, quantity over quality here of the scam, that maybe they'll catch somebody with this minimal amount of effort, just by joining up all the bourbon groups and pages and things like that, and just sending it out scattershot and see what they can get. Like, if they don't get anything, they haven't really lost anything.
And I can tell you this, the whole thing,
Boomhauer approach to scamming people.
With the scheming thing, there's no limit to it. The guy in Texas who's building 2 500-gallon smokers for me, somebody actually used his pictures in the group trying to get people to buy smokers. And it's like, Jesus Christ, they don't even have the common decency to go to another group and do it. Like, we're in this group together and he's using somebody else's pictures. Like, he's in the group. Are you dumb or what?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, just doesn't care. Because they probably did it in that group and probably, at least a dozen other groups. And he probably did it within the space of 6 hours.
But it's one of those things where, I picked out the smokers that I wanted and I sent a deposit. I know the guy, I trust him, so I didn't have a problem doing it. Pay the other half when it's already said and done. But, if you're paying $6,000-$7,000 for an offset smoker, and somebody's asking you to send $3,000, and this is a business investment, and you do it. For somebody trying to build a business, you can't afford to lose $3,000 like that.
No, you sure as hell can't.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that can stop you from even opening.
Yeah,
But I can see why the bourbon groups are a specific target too. Chuck touched on that earlier today in the VIP. There's people out there that treat bourbon like Pokemon. You got to catch them all. You got to get them all.
Yeah.
And so there's people hunting for all these special unicorns or this or that. And I imagine those people get taken up on some of those offers.
Yeah, I can definitely see that because of the what you said, kind of like the gotta catch 'em all thing. Only get this or something's really hot.
You can
and
see
somebody's
the guys, they post whenever they leave the liquor store, they got the crotch shot, the watch shot, and the bottle there.
Yeah, they got they've got all that, and they're flexing on people, calling people the poors if they can't get the bottle or can't afford a bottle, and then somebody says, "I can get you one." Well, now you have an opportunity to kind of thumb your nose at that person who's flexing on you or feels like was flexing on you because you allowed yourself into that emotional space. And now you're being manipulated by both people involved. So yeah, don't do that. And who gives a shit who has anything else? It's not going to put a bottle in your hand because someone else is flexing.
Right. And that's the thing. You're in groups right now that are basically saying in the rules, do not buy and sell in these groups. Yet there are people flexing the crotch shots, the watch, and the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And you have people saying, "Hey, I can get this for you. Are you interested?" And in that same post, and you're thinking, because other people are, saying, "Oh, wow, that's great. It's going to cost me $250 if I want to get one out of one of the museum store cabinets in one of the museum stores." Oh, and then somebody says, "Oh, I can get that for you for $100."
Yeah.
Well, people are going to jump all over that.
Yeah. And that's how they get people.
Oh yeah.
And for me, if I can get somebody something, I don't know, maybe my way of thinking is just different. But if I can get it for you, it's because I know you, or I had a good friend of mine's. She wanted to get it for her husband. She wanted a bottle of Blanton's. So I was like, "Listen, I have a bottle. This is what I paid for it. I'll charge you this plus the shipping." And that was it. But again, that's why I stay away from the secondary groups. Because, for me, I guess, again, I think it's different where I'm in it for the enjoyment. If I never have a bottle of Eagle Rare 17, am I going to be heartbroken? No.
Life goes on.
I'm not. I feel like there's so much stuff out there that you could fit anywhere in this world.
That's the perfect way of looking at it too.
You could be in the lower end, the middle, the high end, or you can be somewhere in between eating one of those. Because listen, Jameson's Black Barrel, it's a good bottle, easy to get, very affordable,
solid,
and 100% solid. I'm sorry. If I never get a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle, am I gonna be heartbroken? Not by a long shot.
Yeah, for real.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm just not. For me and for us, I think it's all about the enjoyment. And you guys seen my past pro tip I just did on the meat buyer's guide. And what made me do that was I was actually thinking about Chuck, because he gives so much education on different bottles that are coming out, where it's going to be dropping. I said, let me do something educational. So for me, that's what I get out of this whole thing. What bottles are coming out, where they're coming out, when they're coming out, that kind of stuff. To me, I feel like to anybody who's coming into this world and the people who are already in it, is more valuable than any bottle you can get your hands on, because you're an educated consumer. And I don't think people truly understand the power you have if you walk into a liquor store and you be like, $300 for Blanton's, no way, and you walk out, or you pick up something else. But because they can get that education on it, that's just that's somebody putting me over a barrel.
Literally.
They're not even being fair. If you really, really wanted it, and you've never seen it in a while, and you wanted to pay anywhere between 80 to 100, cool. Pop your cork, do what you need to do. But $300, I don't even know if I can fix my face to charge somebody
Oh, but
for
man,
a bottle of Blanche.
you can take that crotch shot picture, dude, with your steering wheel and your watch. I
Yeah.
mean, with the bottle.
You know, again, I guess people are in it for different reasons, but for me, it's one of those things where have fun, enjoy it. I mean, we're all to the point that hell, if we drop dead, what people are going to do with our bourbon collection is going to be stupid.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That's occurred to me more than once in the last couple of years, I gotta say.
Because I mean, you know, we can go around the room and check here. We all have more bourbon than we can shake a stick at this point. If all of us stop buying bottles today, I mean, I'm sure I can go 2 years. You guys, I'm sure some of you guys could go more. You know,
I was like,
there you go. You know, Chuck has got that guilty look on his face. Like,
I could probably go on for the rest of my life and not
He's
have
like-
to worry about buying a bottle.
he's like, so if you own your own rick house, what is that?
I got stacked. I mean, it's stacked.
the store's
us
called
are-
Chuck.
I just can't help myself.
point
I'm
is-
like a woman when it comes to purses or shoes.
And we all, you know, we all have our
You
thing,
and
you
I
know?
think when we, it comes down to all these these scam things that are happening and people wanting to flex, and it's definitely the newbies that are getting into a lot of the groups. And
Is that a drooling emoji? Is that what that is?
yeah,
I think
What kind of
so.
rage Elijah Craig private barrel picks we're dropping. Me too, Rick.
I think a lot of because all the new bourbon drinkers want to flex and do whatever, but like people aren't going out and just looking for new things. Like I was in Atlanta. If I wouldn't have seen this online somewhere and gone to the distillery, I probably would have never bought this. But
What'd you get for that, if you don't mind my asking? What was MSRP on it?
when I bought my bottle last year, it was $49.99.
See, all day long, you pick up something that's great for $50.
Mhm.
You don't need to break
Yeah.
your ass to do it.
You don't need to break
pay
your ass.
ridiculous prices or secondary or raffles or any of that stuff. Like
Yeah.
that stuff's there for people who really, really just want it that much. And apparently, if the biggest problem in your life is getting the latest drop of birthday bourbon or bomb burgers or Pappy or whatever the hell, like if that's the biggest problem in your life, you should really consider yourself blessed. And I'm saying that as an atheist, okay? Like perspective.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't care. Listen, when it comes to buying smokers that are $10,000 a pop, or bourbon, or cigars, or Jeep parts, I mean, hell, all of it's a luxury lifestyle.
For sure.
I mean, just above, food, clothes, and shelter, everything else other than, I mean, just listen. Outside the garage, there's a pile, and probably once a month I clean it up. There's a pile of cigar butts sitting there because that's where I dump them out because they're still hot. I don't want to put them in the trash can.
For sure.
And I look at it and I just think, God damn.
That's lighting your money on fire.
Watch it burn.
But you got to be good to yourself too, right? I mean, that's part of it because you're not going to take it with you.
Well,
You're
listen, and the thing is, that's why, like, around Thanksgiving and Christmas, the whole meaning of being good to yourself is doing something that makes you feel good by doing stuff for others.
Yeah.
So
Right
that's
on.
why I always tell people, during that time, listen, I don't want your money. Find somebody less fortunate than you. And I always tell people, especially, my bourbon guys, my cigar guys, my Jeep guys, whatever you would spend on a handful of cigars, $60-$70, your cheapest bottle of bourbon that you normally buy, take that money, give it to a food bank, buy some groceries, give it away, something, because listen, for all of us, it's borderline gluttonous. Let's just be real about it. We all have our habits that cost us money. So again, it's one of those things where I don't know if I could ever justify $3,000 on a bottle.
No.
Chuck was talking about at the beginning of the show, bottles that are, 15, 20. What? No.
Yeah, this would be secondary prices, of course, but you know.
Yeah, but you know the stones that it takes just to put that number out there like that.
Mhm.
You know, and you're talking about essentially what could be a product that's not going to last forever,
Right.
especially the way I build shells. I mean, come on, you know, let's just be real.
You know, but you're talking bottles that are from like 1970, 1974 that you're never going to see again, but still, it's a lot of money.
Yeah,
A
absolutely.
I mean, look at
Yeah.
Michter's Celebration.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to probably spend 30 large, you know, on that if it's secondary. Probably $5,000 if you're lucky enough to get it at MSRP.
Mm.
And again, you know, I got no problem what the next man does with his money. It's just I couldn't justify that to myself for any given reason. I mean, I don't care if I had, you know, Bill Gates money. I know what it's like to be broke. I'm not going back.
For sure.
I ain't going back.
Understandable, because you think, I mean, yeah, that's a once in a lifetime bottle. It's never going to come around again. Then you stop and think, it's like, damn, how many bottles of Michter's Rye can I buy for $5,000?
That's exactly my calculus
that's
when
the way
I hear
I would look
a
at it. I
number
mean,
like
it's
that.
like, yeah, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be the best bourbon I've ever had, but that's one.
May not be.
Well, it may not be. It may not be my cup of tea too, and I've just dropped $5,000 on it.
Exactly.
Versus dropping $5,000.
They're not
on
exactly
something
handing
that
out
I know
samples
that
or
I
something
enjoy.
like that either.
Or you could drop 5 and make 30.
That's true too, but
Yep.
no, I don't do that game.
Then you can buy some more of Michter's.
Yeah. But the thing about that, when I buy it, it's mine or it's going to a friend.
Right.
I don't resell nothing.
So Chuck, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
For the people out there watching us and even for us, what are some things that as consumers we can do not to fall victim to some of these scams? Because it seems as if they're getting more elaborate with it, you know, where somebody has the time to sit around and make up 5 or 6 different profiles and all that. What are some ways we can avoid these scams?
Oh. Just not, I mean, one of the biggest is just not deal with anybody sending you PMs, private messages, or sending you messages in, you know, like a post, a thread where it'll say, you know, oh, I wish I had that bottle, you know, because I see you're flexing with your steering wheel and your watch. You know, maybe it's a Dora the Explorer watch and a Geo Metro that's clapped out, but you're balling with a
that's gonna be my next car.
bottle of Bomberger or something like that. You know, I mean, just don't deal with, you know, the whole thing. Just don't get into that because it's not there. It's just nothing's going to happen. You're either going to get one of 3 things. You're going to get nothing. You're going to, well, secondly, you're going to get, you know, you're going to lose your money. It's not going to ever come back. Secondly, you might end up with an empty bottle. They'll ship you something. It'll be an empty bottle of some, whatever it is, but you'll get that. Or you'll, you know, get a trinket or something. They'll send you like a little trinket, like a, I don't know, whether it be like an old holiday ornament or something like that. And that's how they get away with that stuff.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was it 2 years ago. My daughter bought sent us. She found it online, and she sent me the bourbon or whiskey, one of those bourbon whiskey advent calendar deals with all the little 1 ounce, 2 ounce bottles in it.
Mm-hmm.
Started cracking them, and every bottle was empty in it.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember hearing about those.
Every bottle was empty. But Robbie, it seemed like such a good deal. I was like, yeah, sometimes you're just too true, kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's really what I can offer as far as not getting in. Just don't do it.
Okay.
You know, I mean, that's the big thing. Just don't do it because, you know, you're going down a bad road. It's not going to end well for you.
Yep.
And I guess some people get desperate because based on where you are, as we've all experienced, I've had times where Eagle Rare was collecting dust on the shelf, but Gino may never see it in the wild ever. Rob has seen Weller on the shelves. I've never seen Weller in the wild here, not even at Total Wines or ABC. So I think a lot of times that could be something where people just feel like, unless I happen to be on a trip somewhere and they happen to find it or run across it, I guess people do get desperate, or they want to be the ones that flex every once in a while. So they're willing to take the chance that, they're going to really get what they paid for. When in reality, they're going to get what they paid for.
Yes.
Right.
And just remember, because something's very popular doesn't mean it's the greatest thing in the world either. Because there was a time back in 2013, 14, maybe even 15. Yeah, 15 actually. Because I remember E.H. Taylor small batch sitting on shelves. Those were the good old days. But yeah, I mean, there were times when plants sat.
Yeah, and I've told the story too many times about when I got Taylor Foolproof. Just walked into a store. It was probably 2018, so not even really that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I probably paid $50 for it, and when I see what it goes for now, I'm like, holy shit, that'll probably never happen again. That'll never happen again in my lifetime. It was actually the last one, but that'll probably never happen again in my lifetime, because after having paid $50 for it, I could never pay $200 for it. I just can't. I don't have it in me. Is to kind of go back. We were talking about the calculus. You guys are familiar with Cat Williams, and I saw one of his. I actually got to go to one of his comedy specials. He's talking about, he does that bit about making pimp decisions. It's like, for $200, I can get this bottle of Taylor barrel proof. So, or for $200, I can walk out with these 4 other bottles of this other thing, and I'll be a happy motherfucker. Like, I can get way more drunk for way longer and enjoy myself for the same price of that one bottle I'll be scared to drink. So it's stuff to think about.
And again, you say about the whole thing about getting drunk. I mean, unless
we're not even getting drunk. We don't
even get drunk like that. Every once in a while,
sure.
We'll get overboard. If I got briskets going, I will. If I know I'm not leaving the house,
I've been a little tipsy on the show.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about, Rob. I've never seen you that way.
Idea.
Buckle up, baby.
I never said what I was drinking, by the way. I'm drinking some Old Scout from as a store pick from Cheers and
nice.
Like some Old Scout.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
All right, Chuck. So tell us some bourbon news. Anything new and interesting coming out soon?
We are in season.
And that is a good question. I know Baumburgers and Shanks just came out.
Yeah, I saw Baumburgers drop. I saw a few guys finding it on the shelf in PA.
Oh yeah, it just dropped in the distillery it was a 3-pack, I think, with Baumburger, Shanks, and something else. And then the distillery dropped them separately the next 2 days. And then, of course, PA got a bunch of it, as we already know, because the PA Bourbon Squad decided to do their thing that they always do, and crotch shots were going, and Dora the Explorer watches and ragged out Toyotas and what have you.
Hey, I can just imagine Chuck sitting at home looking at that and be like, "Look at this shit. Here we go."
As unlikely as it is, if I end up with a unicorn anytime soon, I'm going to do a crotch shot with the fucked up back end of my car.
That'll be funny, though.
Fixed.
That'll be funny, though. Not the fucked up car part, but the crotch
I can
shot.
get now. I just need a bottle of Baumburgers.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
I feel like it would be easier to get one of those at this point than to get my insurance to pay out, or his insurance. But anyway, it's just freaking hilarious. Oh yeah, the Casio. Oh, hang on a second. He said. New Casio calculator watch.
There you go,
dude.
There you go.
I had one of those when I was a kid.
I think everybody had one of those.
That's for sure.
Oh, I know.
Guilty.
I can
Definitely
even.
the Casio with the calculator. Yeah, man.
I'm gonna age myself a little bit here, but I can remember I had a members only jacket. I had like 3 of them in different colors.
What's
had
that,
the
Joe? Were
black-
you the last member?
I had the black members only jacket, the red,
Rick, no, they're not.
and the white.
I was talking about the watch. Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen the members only.
Listen, back in the day, you
I had a
know,
white
That was
back
it.
in the
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think I only wore them for like an hour because in Miami was just too goddamn hot.
That's a good follow-up question. Is when the hell did you need a jacket down there?
Yeah.
In the dead of winter, was it January 2nd or something?
January
For
2nd.
about
it
30
got
minutes, it was a little bit cold.
Before the sun
Agreed.
came up.
Yeah,
Before the sun came up.
It was about
That's
3 in the
how
morning.
And it's only like
You
4
load up in
days
the
out of the
truck.
whole year. And every once in a blue moon, some snow will fall from Georgia into Jacksonville or from Alabama into the Panhandle, you know, and they'll say it's snow in Florida again. No, that shit just blew over the line. Let's just be serious about it.
It's hilarious.
I guess as far as things that are getting ready to drop would be like the Old Forester birthday bourbon. I believe that started already.
Okay.
Yeah.
EHT barrel proof rye.
Mm,
That's going to be a real big
I'm sure it is.
big one this year because that's their special release. Going along with their EHT barrel proof bourbon, which, you know, that's releases every year. This one will be batch 11. King of Kentucky, that's another big one. Parker's
Yeah.
Heritage
That's
double
what
blend.
I wanna pick. That may be one of, if I ever find it, I would drop a little bit more on that.
Which one?
The Parker's Heritage.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I sampled a little bit at a bar I was at, and I was like, oh, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that
Good stuff.
Rick wants to know, is it even possible to get King of Kentucky? Realistically.
No, not really.
Asked an answer. There you go.
No, you have to be
Godfather
in
says so.
special, you have to be
You're
in Kentucky. You have to be
really
in
well.
special circles, and it's difficult. That's why it's, you know, commands such a high price.
So Chuck, in those situations, when they do a release like that, is it like 100 bottles? Is it 50 bottles? Is it 20 bottles? What?
Well, it could be one barrel, which may yield 120 to up to 218 bottles, possibly, depending upon the age where it's located in the rick house, because, you know, due to the angel share and all that.
Yep.
But some, you know, like Russell. Let's talk about this one. Russell's Reserve single rick house. I know this is a sticking point for some people. The price of that is $250. The SRP on that one. It's a 10 plus year. It's probably a 10 and a half, you know, whatever it may be, but it's 10 years. And we have Russell Reserve 13, which priced out at $74.99 last year. Now this one's $250. So that one's going to be 72 barrels, I believe. I think I mentioned.
yeah.
I don't know
That's
what the yield on each one's going to be. But just to get in, the entry price is $250, and we know that's not going to be. It's not going to be $250 for everybody. It could be probably up to $500, $600, $700 for each bottle, depending upon where you're buying it, which store.
If I read your comments right, that's the last coming out of that rick house, right?
Yes, it is, and I'm sure that's probably why they, you know, put it that way.
It's so high, yeah.
Because I think a lot of people, what they're doing is a lot of these distilleries are pricing things in that, what would you say, the
Super premium.
basically taking the secondary out of it, like Whistle Pig does with their special editions. Because some of those Whistle Pig, you know, special editions with the little toppers, the pig toppers, whatever they may be, can command $500-$600 SRP.
I see what you're saying. That basically they're charging so much for it that you're not really going to see a hot secondary market for that bottle. So
No.
if you buy it, the money goes to the distiller rather than the flipper.
Yes. But in the case with Russell Reserve, I think that one, since it's a 10-year and it's going to be single rick house, last one available, I think that's going to probably command a pretty penny, even on secondary.
Rick says Camp Nelson Rickhouse C. Was going to say the Whistle Pig Boss Hog and the 18 single malts.
Yes, that's it, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Rickhouse C. Boss Hog, yep. And the 18 single malts. Yes, exactly.
And Whistle Pig's like kind of generally overrated, right?
It is.
From what because I've had, I think I've had like their piggyback rye, which was decent and affordable for what it was. But like I've just seeing the prices on the others, I'm like,
The thing I found with the Whistle Pig, some of the stuff that's easy to get, like the 6-year, I think it is, it's actually pretty good. And I mean,
it's decent.
You can keep in that range, and I guess you have to. Maybe my palate's not educated enough for bourbon that's priced up like that, and maybe it just has something to do with my thinking. But I feel like if you keep that middle section of it all, you can be pretty decent with price. You don't have to kill it all the time, And it's the same thing even with brisket. There's nothing wrong with select. I mean, Wagyu brisket, okay, it's cool, but am I gonna pay $380 for an uncooked brisket? No.
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 Not going to sit and slow cook for 10, 12 hours, right?
No, that's what I'm saying.
It makes no sense.
And even prime you can get at a decent price, but who's gonna? I mean, what you gonna sell Wagyu brisket for? $80 a pound? Are you kidding me, or what? For you to make any kind of real money on it? No. So you can get your hands on prime, which is good. Select, hell, even choice. If you cook most briskets long enough, they're gonna taste pretty good anyway.
Yep.
So I feel
and slow, and
that's it.
it'll be
So
fine.
Yes,
if
sir.
you keep within that mid range, especially for the people who are coming into the world who are new to it, I don't want people to get caught up in the hype that I got to have all these unicorns and this, that, and the other. Because 9 times out of 10, if you get a real good unicorn, you're not gonna want to drink it because you don't know when you're gonna get it again.
Exactly.
There it is.
So
Right.
if you manage to get your hands on a pappy, okay, you got it. You paid a couple of grand for it. Are you really gonna just sit down with people who don't drink bourbon and let them piss it away, so to speak? You're not gonna
exactly.
Do it. So I don't know. I just feel like you can find some nice price stuff.
There's so much out there.
Big mustache.
So much out there.
People are missing out on so much.
Yeah, the smoke wagons, the 291. I mean, it just goes on and on.
It's like Jody. Jody is a big-time fanboy of Bardstown.
Yeah.
But my local store has Bardstown down there on the shelf gathering dust.
Yeah, so does ours.
I mean,
Price?
that's good quality stuff. But it sits there.
Well, a lot of Bardstown is just really expensive. I know they have
that's
options,
the reason why.
but that's really what stops me from Bardstown and what stops me from Barrel. Is
But-
every time
but
I
not
see it,
all-
I go for that.
the
It's
Fusion
probably really
series,
good, but
the bottles of the Fusion series they got down there are running about $64.
That's
yeah,
about right.
yeah, those are fine.
And they're-
But
they're
a lot
delicious.
of those expressions are higher dollar.
They're sitting there gathering dust.
Yeah,
It's the price point. Their their SRP, they want for it is just way over the top for too many people.
Yeah,
And,
the newer ones coming out, they're too expensive. And I'll wait, try them later someday, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, and again, I think it has a lot to do with where it is here. My local store that I go to, when they get Bardstown, she said it doesn't last her an hour.
Yeah.
She'll get it. She won't put it on the shelf. She'll make 2 or 3 phone calls and it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
Rick's
about to
saying
be
it's going to be
discontinued.
discontinued.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You know what I'm excited about in my area? Because when I first saw it, I basically bought up all the expressions that I could find was the Redwood Empire. That I couldn't find them at all. And so I did kind of do the Tater. I was like, I'm going to get one of these and one of these and one of these. I want the Emerald Giant. I want the Lost Monarch. I want all this stuff. Pipe Dream, all that. but now I see them more. Like, so there's not going to be that sense of like super excitement. Got to get these because I've heard so much about them for so long. I have them, and I really enjoy all of them. I do.
I enjoy that.
But they're like
giant.
$40 or something like that.
Yep.
Each. It's extremely reasonable. At least in mine, anyway.
The Emerald Giant that I picked up last weekend, I'd have to find a receipt again if I still got it here. I think it was like $35.
Well, see, there you go. Even better.
That's even better.
I mean, that's some damn good juice.
Yeah, but they at my local they charge the same for all of them.
Yeah,
basically. But yeah, now that I've had them, now that I've tried them, like I won't go crazy for them again. But I also wasn't paying big money either.
No, but yeah, I'll
be
picking up another one.
I'm glad to see them here, honestly.
Gone.
And I hope other people get to enjoy. I actually think about that, like when they have like 3 or 4 back, like, ooh, I need to buy all these up and see who else gets them. And I go, well, no, I've got mine. I've asked my friends because it actually happened at the time whether or not they're good or if they wanted one, and everyone basically said they were good or passed. And I was like, okay, someone else is going to be able to experience this, and I think that's a grand thing. So
let me ask you guys this: do you think, depending on the store and the region, do you think they put such a markup on their stuff because they know regardless they're going to move?
I think some products.
Yeah.
If a store knows they have a lot of heavy hitters, and the heavy hitters they want the unicorns, they want the hard to get stuff, so they'll tack another 10-15% on top of it, knowing that they won't even think twice about it. They're not. They're gonna just.
I think it's some products are like that.
Yeah, and it's based on reputation, and as one of the things we were talking about
this month.
Even from like earlier this summer, there was a big drop at one of my locals, and it was a perceptible markup of about $20 on a bunch of them. And the guy even offered me, he kind of like waved his hand to the stuff he had behind the counter, which was like, honestly, like Buffalo Trace and like the Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered, and just several others kind of in that category. McKenna 10-year and stuff like that. That one was actually on the shelf. It was actually what I bought that day. And it was, I understand, I paid $50 for the McKenna 10, but like, I understand that is a markup from where it was. Is it good? Yeah. But if I had paid $30 for it a year ago, I wouldn't have paid $50 for it. But
now it's $70.
I never tried it. Well, see, there you go. So like, fuck them. I won't do that again.
No, it really is $70.
I believe you. Like, it's good. I don't think it's $70 good by a long shot. But,
well, the thing I think they're doing is with the McKenna 10, they're going by that age statement. It used to be $10 per year for age stated whiskey. Now it's just all over the place with stuff because of the bourbon boom. But yeah, McKenna is just that 10-year. They're just basically hyping up that 10-year. And basically just added $20 to it for SRP.
Yeah.
That's what they did in PA.
Yeah.
Even that and
blame it on inflation.
So would it be safe to say that some of these stores are kind of treating their bourbon the way these dealerships treat their cars sometimes?
Yes.
You'll get a car and you'll see it and it's like $20,000-$30,000 over MSRP only because they know somebody with the cash and somebody with more cash than brains, they'll come in and pick it up.
There's an ask for every seat.
Yeah. Yep. Except you need most people anyway need a car versus nobody needs bourbon, in the same kind of existential way. But think about it too.
You need to have a bourbon, dude. Got to
take. But what I was going to say is the one of the additional things to consider is how hard it is to get a new car these days. It's going to make it's supply and demand. It's going to make people more willing to pay. It's one of the things I'm very afraid about. Like if I'm getting into a situation with my car repaired that I may end up looking at buying a new car is like trying to find one and not getting completely taken to the cleaners where I have some massive monthly car payment because I've been able to enjoy not having a car payment. I paid mine off. It was a 2013. I paid it off in 2 years. I haven't had a car payment, since 2015. That's real fucking nice. And
sticker shock's going to get you, brother.
Yeah, it's gonna crush my soul is what's gonna happen. And
even
bracing
even
for
the
it.
car market, David, is
to do what?
just
I know.
The car market
my next door neighbor, he had a truck that he bought, I think used. I can't remember what he told me he paid for it. he drove it for 2 years and sold it for the exact same amount that he paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you know what happens every time I take my Jeep in to get service?
Mhm.
They
And-
ask you how much you want for it.
Listen, they don't have
Yeah.
time. If you will make the appointment and they literally will be waiting for you to pull up in the service bay. And they'll be like, hey, let's talk about them. Listen,
Yeah.
they offered me, I think, almost 15 grand over what I paid for it. This is the same dealership I bought it from.
I 100% believe that. 100%.
But it's like, even
I had
still,
a friend talking about new cars and things like that. This friend of mine wanted this new model vehicle and ordered it from the dealership. And because of all the chip shortages and the part shortages and this shortage and that shortage, took them 15 months to get that vehicle. That's why the used market is exploded, because people aren't going to wait 15 months generally.
No.
They want that new to them car now, and if it's in good shape. And that's why the used market is just outrageous. I mean, it's just nuts.
And even now, if you talk to some dealerships, and again, it's almost like bourbon. If a guy gets a case of Eagle Rare or a Heaven Hill 15, it's usually sold before it hits the floor.
Sure.
These
Absolutely.
dealers, they'll have a whole 18-wheeler of trucks come in, new cars, and every last one of them are spoken for. Wife just got the Acura a couple of months ago. New model. I mean, every last one that came into the dealership, they were like, no.
Yeah.
I think the car was there for 2 days, if that.
Yeah.
And even
it's hard to get a vehicle. It really is.
Yeah, she traded in her old car, and literally the only thing they did was wash it and put it back on the showroom floor.
And some of the dealerships nowadays, because new cars are such a rare commodity, they actually, and this happened to my friend, they actually, go to the person that they've sold this car to, that they're waiting for it to come in. Do you mind if we leave it on the lot for a couple days and then you come by to pick it up? Because that
they want to have
it generates the foot traffic, man.
Yeah.
And they do it.
Yeah, it's a big
crazy.
reversal. Like the last time I was looking for a car, have them hounding you and what can I do to get you in this car today, kind of thing, like all that stuff. Now it's like, here's my money. Let me buy this before somebody else does. And it's completely flipped around because of the whole situation. Another sort of analogous situation was with you guys know this because I play video games and stuff. I was trying to get a PlayStation 5 forever, right? I signed up for the Sony Direct. It took I actually got one. The same week I got into the rec. So the universe gives and universe takes away. I finally got one of these things. It only took 2 damn years for them to get back to me. That's basically the company offers you, hey, we got one. Do you want it? Yeah, cash money. Let's go. I didn't waste 5 seconds. I was in my car processing my card. Not why I got into a wreck, by the way. But like, I'm a pilot. I'm a multitasker. It was fine. But and that accident was 100% not my fault. But like, I didn't waste 3 seconds. Shut up and take my money, right? Because that's how it was. Like now it's like I've got to work to give you my money for a thing. Like that's the reality we live in now.
Yeah, and Gino, like you were saying, they ask you to leave the car, and what they do is they put a sold sign on it.
After the second day, it's sitting there.
Yeah,
and it just generates the foot traffic. It's crazy. The one of my offices sits right beside a Chevrolet GMC dealership. I see it all the time. The tractor trailer will come in with the brand new load of brand new vehicles, and they drop them off. They run them through their prep and stuff, and then they're out there on the lot, every single one of them. And they did not get those brand new vehicles if they weren't already sold. People are waiting for it, but they sit there. And you can do the countdown. In 5 days, they're all gone. But it generates them so much foot traffic.
Market,
crazy.
And the bourbon market is almost no different.
It's
You
the
know,
same way.
Yeah.
It's
when
like Chuck is talking about, we got this drop or that drop or this. We were talking about the smoke wagon. And I'm looking to get that smoke wagon rye they just advertised. Chuck burst my bubble earlier tonight saying, yeah, man, it's gone. And that's the thing about it. That's the new thing that hit the market. Boom, they got it. Boom, it's gone.
And again, even here at my local store, this is maybe a year and a half ago, I get a phone call. She's like, I got 3 Stag Juniors. I don't know, I'm coming.
Yeah.
No, I'm on the way now. Like if I was on the way to go to the grocery store and I got the phone call, I was like, well, I'll go to Publix later. Let me.
Right.
No, I'm coming right now.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
when you want something, something that you may never see it again or a very, very long time, that's what happens. And the thing is this, I know I'm not even a heavy hitter for sure. But when you get that phone call, if you don't, the next one will.
Oh yeah.
They're sitting there with the
And
pad.
they may not call you the next time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, all right, well, and even sometimes what I really feel like happened, where I called him first last time, let me call this guy now first, so I can kind of spread the love around a little bit.
Mhm.
But I mean, when I got into bourbon and I've been drinking bourbon for years, I never would have thought it would ever get to this point.
Mm.
I mean, cigars are not like that. And sometimes cigars can be just as hard to find, but the only stick I'm paying $20+ for is an Anniversario number 9. And I only buy a couple of them a year on my birthday. That's the only time I spend that kind of money
For sure.
on a cigar. Other than that, I go get everyday stuff that I'm paying between $6 and $9 for per stick. So I hope and pray that the cigar business never gets like that. I really, really do, because it'll give me a reason to really cut back. Because it's like, you got to pick your poison. Is it going to be the Jeep? Is it going to be the bourbon? Or it's going to be the cigar?
You guys know what was up with me last week. It's been 8 days now.
Nice.
So
Good stuff, man.
Made
Good
that
for you.
economic decision, man.
Yeah.
They're done.
Yeah.
But
It just means more bourbon in your future.
more bourbon,
There you go.
and Billy and I are gonna have a long talk about cigars.
That's right.
Don't worry. Listen, I'm putting the package together for you now. You gonna, Rob? You have that ashtray that I sent you around?
Oh yeah.
I'll send you
No,
one
it's
to
sitting out.
Gino.
It's sitting out under the bar outside.
I'll send you one, Gino. I sent that to a
I
couple
tell
of
you,
guys.
It's being used in anger currently.
Well, you can actually kill somebody with that thing.
You
But
you
I've
could
quit
definitely hurt
multiple
somebody
times
with
before,
that.
and I don't know what it is about
It's
this
beautiful.
time. But this time quitting is just, it's been intense. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
You'll
We're
be a
proud of
better
you,
man
man.
for it. Absolutely.
Hey,
We're here to
I've
support
still got 2 packs here in the house that I will not touch. I'm not going back again. I'm done.
That's good.
I'm done.
you. That's what's up.
That's good. Clear
Good
it
for
out,
you, my
man.
friend. Good for you.
That's probably a good note to end on for the live show. I hang around a little bit. I still got whiskey in my glass.
Oh, hell
So
yeah.
we're going to stick around a little bit for the after show. I know it's Friday for some of us, and we're going to act like it's Friday for some other of us.
You guys can have it. I've been up since 2 a.m.
That's right, man. That's right.
It was
Damn, Billy.
another successful
Billy,
delivery,
get some
so,
sleep, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I mean, and the crazy part is when I came back home, I had to start right back with making it. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Man.
So some problems are good problems.
It's important to be good. That's why it's important to be good to yourself, man. You got to have balance in your
Sir.
life.
That's right.
That's what it's about.
Absolutely,
I mean, honestly, that's what bourbon or whatever other hobbies and shit is about. Is creating some balance between working your ass half to death and taking care of all the obligations in your family and your life, maintaining your household, everything else that's going on,
You get
and
to
all
the
the
end of the
stressors.
evening, you get to the
You
end of the evening,
deserve
it's your
something for
time.
yourself. And that's what it's about.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen, be good to yourselves. Ladies and gentlemen out there, thank you for joining us for the show.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Yes.
my brother.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, share. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. If you're not a part of the VIP section, get into it. There's a lot of great information. And if nothing else, join. You'll learn something from the Godfather himself. Some real educational stuff that'll help you be a better buyer. All right, guys.
And I thank you to all those guys who joined us tonight, man.
And
Yes.
Yeah,
we're here every Thursday. Please come on out and comment more.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
We'll see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
All right, guys. Love you.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
All right.